my timeline is June 24th. Happy birthday, B. I'm in San Francisco. I'm staying. I didn't bring my camera. I was carrying so much already, and I just bringing my laptop was. I didn't want to bring a lot, and I didn't think I was going to record really. But then there was just too much going on, and I was like, I need to record. I need to record where I'm at and how I'm feeling in the moment. Yeah, definitely. I'm currently staying with a loved one, and it's been incredible just to be able to reconnect and really get to know this person, and what an amazing person to get to know. And I mean, this trip already, and I'm not even done. This is only this, second, third day that I'm here. It's already gone above and beyond what I expected. Above and beyond what I expected. And she's taking me down the streets, and we're walking, and she's like, I'm a fast walker. I'm like, no problem, I'm a fast walker too. And we found out we had the same shoe size, which is weird because in our individual families, we don't, we're usually the ones with bigger feet. So it was nice to have someone in the family. I'm like, we're in the same shoe size. And just learning about each other and where we are in this time of our lives, and realizing we're both in a transition, and it's just been really lovely. It's just been really lovely, and among other things, clearly, right? But I wanted to highlight a couple things. So I've had the intention over the last couple days to post my next video, and I've had to make that decision of, do I stay up late and prepare it to post, or do I go to bed? And I've chosen to go to bed. I've chosen to take care of me and sleep, because I need it. My body needs it. And I've mentioned that I'm noticing that I can't do the same type of labor-intensive things or push myself to a certain degree without resting. So I've been choosing to rest instead of post. But there was synchronicities that were happening, and I'm like, okay, I gotta speak to that, because that's the whole point of this, right? This documenting these experiences as they unfold, and yeah, just documenting. So the video that I intended to post, I'm waking up from a dream stained, and I'm talking about that it felt like a horror film almost. And I also mentioned the three images that I had of the two women with bonnets walking away from me, the black man in a jail, and this urge to speak up, to speak his truth. And there was like falsely accused, almost a sense of being falsely accused, and if he only spoke up, he would be set free. And then the image of a jade bracelet. And between that moment, I must have realized at that moment, I don't remember how, I must have heard it somewhere, that sometimes our dreams are flashbacks of a past life. So I mentioned that that's been the one that I've been wanting to post over the last couple days, and I just haven't. Christina Lopes came out with a video on the 7 chakras, and she's talking about how our soul will implant past life images for the purpose of healing that specific chakra. Well, I mean, when I saw those images, it made sense to me in terms of this need to speak up, right? This need to make my needs known, I can save myself by speaking up. So I thought that was an interesting connection that I was trying to figure it out, and I was coming to that conclusion, and then she's posting this video that's validating it, right? It's validating. And this week that I'm making the intention to post more of the older videos, the tarot readings, some of them are specifically, it seems like it's tying into that moment in time versus I mean, it's a little bit of both depending on which reading I'm listening to. So that's been interesting. But yesterday, my loved one, we walked around her city, and she's showing me murals and telling me stories and running into people that she knows and that she's met. She works at a coffee shop, and she's an artist, and so it's really lovely to hear her story first, reconnect with her, and then just the extension of her, right, through these individuals that have crossed her path, and through those interactions put more pieces of who this individual is in my life. It's a wonderful unfolding, and I'm enjoying every moment. And I love her transparency and her love for her community, and the love of art and the love of culture that she has, and just her light, her energy is just, it's very beautiful and very loving. And yeah, I'm grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for her, for this opportunity to experience the city in a different way, in the way that I always imagined to explore it, but I never had the opportunity to. And we went to a talk. She invited me to an artist talk, and that was, I was so inspired. and we went into an art exhibit and of one of her friends who curated it, and I'm just like, wow, what a world, and just being inspired by listening to how they're talking about their experience. And we went into the David Ireland's house, and apparently it's a big deal. I'm not familiar with the art world. Apparently it's a big deal, and the house was amazing, and art, and just everything has been amazing. It's to a certain degree magical, if I wanted to describe it, just in the beauty of what's around the corner, really, what's around the corner. And we were just talking about spirituality and this belief and concept that you can look at your world. You cannot look at it because you're so busy living in your head, thinking about the future or reminiscing about the past, or struggling, right? Worried about what's going to happen. Or you can choose to walk slowly and looking at your world every day as if it's, you're looking at it for the first time through a child's eyes, and knowing that every moment is a new moment. The street itself may be the same, but the individuals you pass by are different. The movement of the clouds is different. The sounds are different. There's a new beginning and a new end all around with each moment. And so it was just, we had a lovely conversation. She took me to a wonderful vegan Mexican food restaurant. The food was amazing. And we were walking down the street, and she turns to me. She's like, how you doing? Like, she's just checking in, so attentive. And I love that. I love that she's so attentive. And And I tried my best to do that with her, like, how you doing, how you feeling with the information I'm sharing, because it was a mutual, like, give and take. And sometimes I'm a little too much, sometimes I give too much information, and I'm trying to be mindful of that, right? Be mindful that not everyone is where I'm at in terms of how we look at situations, specifically when it comes to attachments. So anyway, she checked in with me. She's just like, how you feeling about all this? How are you feeling right now in this moment as we're walking? Looking all around, and I'm telling her, I feel in love. I feel in love with the city. I feel in love with the city. I'm falling in love. Falling in love with the city. It's such a great place to live. And feeling this reignitement within me of I used to want to live in the city, San Francisco. I remember some of my favorite movies take place in San Francisco. Some of my favorite movies take place in San Francisco. Sweet November, Serendipity. And I just remember that longing to be in San Francisco. And yeah, I had forgotten. I had forgotten that that's what I had wanted. And I'm asking her questions, like, just practical questions, and I'm asking people that I'm meeting, like, how you doing? What do you do? And how do you like living here? And everyone says the same thing. Rent is too high, right? And so I'm thinking to myself, rent is too high, okay. I'm working on, right, letting go this fear of loss, this fear of having to be financially stable, right? And just winging things and just doing things just for the passion, just for the sheer excitement, just for the sheer of, like, let's just see what happens and how things unfold. And the more I've already mentioned, by default, I push through. I put myself in difficult situations to push through. So I thought, well, what a challenge that would be, right? To live in the city where the rent is going up, still not having some stable income, and documenting that experience. And yeah. What a challenge that would be. What an adventure that would be. What a chapter in my life that would be. I've always wanted to. If not now, then when? I have 2 months. 2 months to figure out how to do that. 2 months. My lease is up in 2 months. How am I going to get myself to San Francisco and survive? What a challenge. Challenge accepted. I'm going to figure it out. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? And I was telling her, I'm like, if I struggle, then I'll find another plan and ask for help. Why not? Why not try? So I can say that I tried. So I don't look back. And I don't want to live a life of regret. So we'll see. The other thing that happened was the idea of coaching came back up, and it was presented to me, and if I considered it, and I mentioned that this person who presented it wasn't the first time that it's been presented to me. Other people have shared, what about coaching? Have you thought about coaching? And I think because I just generalized and associated it with therapy and mental health, I was like, I just, the way mental health is set up now is not, I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling the way it's set up. It doesn't make sense to me the way it's set up. Not anymore. Not with everything that I'm going through. It's making me challenge everything, right? And if I can make it my own, if I can add the spirituality piece, if I could make it an option for people, and be okay with the self-disclosure component that we all really truly need to feel connected, and knowing what those boundaries are in place, right? Knowing if I could just do it in my way without feeling the need of carrying them, right? Or dealing with crises, then maybe I consider it. And not too long ago, the thought had come into my mind of what if all of this experience is to purposefully lead me back to where I started, just in a different angle of it, like being so close to where I'm supposed to be, but just a small shift, right? What if all of this is just to lead me back to where I was at? That thought came to my mind not too long ago. And then again, yesterday, when this fire sign presented this idea to me. And I loved how he described coaching. I was like, if it's like that, then yeah. In my head, I was thinking, yeah, I love helping people. I love helping people. And I love teaching. I love sharing information. And now having this experience to shed light in it in a different way, you know. Yeah. So I'm definitely considering coaching now. And then there was a moment when he talked about wanting to work with the younger generation, right? Which is what I'm doing. To catch them before they get older, because he works with men. And I was just like, I remember like I was leaning on the couch next to him, and then I kind of sat up, and I was just like, oh my God. And as I'm talking about it, I'm experiencing myself in that moment, becoming more passionate, becoming frustrated with the system, that the way it is now. And there was this like switch in me. I'm just like, wow, I like I was just ignited again, like this desire to do something different, right? To just make that shift a little bit different, to help people in a different way, in the same but different way. And I was like, does that mean something? You know, that I instead of just laying and dreaming about different things, trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go next, right? Thinking it's voiceover. And still wanting to do that because I want to purchase the stuff, so I want to see if it's something that, just for fun, right? That I can generate some extra cash with. Because it's fun, just for that simple fact that it's fun. But then also do this. And juggle both, right? Juggle both. Just because I can. Just because I can. Today, my loved one has taken me to, I guess, this part of the bay, or where there's an organ built within the, I don't remember how she described it, built within the sea ground or the bay, or so when the waves come in, it actually plays the organ. I thought that was the most wonderful thing in the world. And I was just so excited to do that today with her when she gets home. Oh, and then she told me this story yesterday about this. So as we were walking, we're just walking randomly, right? She's showing me all her spots, and I loved that she was showing me all her spots. we crossed this lady, two ladies, older ladies. They're walking slowly, and we're just like, okay, we want to get around them. And one of them has this little dog that's following her, and it was so cute because as she's walking, her dog is following her. And you know how they say that your pets sometimes look like you after certain time? This is one of those moments where I'm looking at the dog and I'm looking the back of her, and I'm just like, oh, she's probably had this doggy for the longest time. And as we walk past her, the little one, gets closer and she whispers to me, and she's just like, she's a regular. She's sometimes a regular. She comes into the shop, and I know she has a wallet. I've seen her wallet, but she always pulls out this tin can. I think she said it was like a tin or a can, a little box, tin box. And she takes it out, and then she takes her monedas out, like her coins, to pay. And then she's like, this is your treat. This is your special treat, right? This is like her treat box, and she's treating herself to she says she always comes in and buy the bread, and that she pulls it out of this little tin container, tin box, and that she counts her money, and that's what she uses to pay whatever's in this box, not using her wallet, even though she has one. And that, she was just so, my loved one was just, found it so lovely that, this was her treat. And she was able to partake in that experience with her. And I was just like, oh, what a cute story, right? All these questions are popping up for me, like, does anyone know about this little tin box? Where does she hide it? How long has she had this little tin box? What else? What other delights has she used this little box for? This little tin container, tin box. What other delights has she indulged in? So it's just lovely to hear that story and let my mind just question and want to know more about her story, really. Want to know more. There was another situation that we went into a pharmacy to get some water because we're walking so much. I strike up a conversation with the cashier, and I start talking to her in Spanish because I sense her accent. Then she asks me where I'm from. So I said my family's from, Mexico, and I'm telling her what parts. And I think she thought, I think she made that reference to me. I think maybe because of how I was speaking Spanish. And I get that sometimes. I get asked, where are you from? Thinking that I'm from, Mexico. And so I asked her where she was from. No, when she asked me where I was from, she's like, I remember you telling me. I remember you telling me last time. I think we've spoken before, is what she said. And I had already asked her, where she was from Durango. And I was like, I know, I have family from there. I know people from there too. And so there was this lovely connection, and she said, we've had this conversation before, and I was just like, this is my first time to the store. This is my first time to the neighborhood. And then I said, but you know what? It's the energy. It's the energy. We've probably met before through our energy, right? And realizing. And we were just talking about, I asked her what her plans were for the day, and she's going to her second job after that, just cleaning houses, and I wished her well, and it was so lovely. And then she offered to open up because it was a sparkling water, so it was one of those old cantarito bottles, where you had to, like, what is it, with the can opener? I don't know. A bottle opener. she offered to open them up for us, and I'm so grateful. But as we were walking out, I was just laughing. I'm like, isn't that interesting that she thought she had had a conversation with me before, but this was the first time I'd been in the store. And, we had our mask on, so of course, there's always that. You always feel like that. I think that was one thing I did notice was when I was working with Hannah at the markets, that I would encounter people, and I'm like, I've met you before. You look familiar, you seem familiar, and it could have been just the energy. And then I said, that's the similarity, because my loved one was just talking about culture and how some people are dismissive of the different cultures, right? Where we try to be, when we talk about unity and we talk about the collective, sometimes we have a tendency to forget about the individual cultures that the collective is made of. And I said, it's the energy that's the same, that we all experience, that we have, we're interconnected. It's really the energy that is familiar, right? When you meet someone, it's the energy that's familiar. And you can feel that same energy with other people because we're all connected. And that's what she was picking up. Whether it was my energy through someone else who carries the same frequency of energy, that's what she picked up on. And I thought that was pretty amazing to have that realization that we can be uniquely ourselves with our culture and our upbringing and our beliefs, and appreciate and acknowledge that which, those puzzle pieces of ourselves that put us together, or as an individual, but then as a collective. It's the energy component that connects us all. Because we were even talking about, we walked by this bush and it was one of her favorite flowers. I forget what it's called. I'll try to look it up and I'll post it. But I said, well, did you want to take some home? She says, no. Whenever I take it out of its collective piece, it starts looking ugly. It starts falling. It starts dying. It starts dying. And I said, wow, how symbolic of us as a society, right? Where we have, at least within the Western world, this individualistic perspective of living and having to do things on your own. And this is a perfect example of how when you try to separate yourself from your roots, you struggle. And then she mentioned about, Latina women, or first generation women, I think it was Latina women, who leave their families to acculturate into this new world, right? First generation, the pressures of having to go to school, the pressures of making it, whether it's school or work, making it to be the pioneer for everyone else, and the challenges that comes with the mental health challenges, the emotional challenges, not to mention the physical challenges of just surviving in a new world, a new culture, the pressures, and then we wonder why the mental health of our children, of our individuals, of our fellow people are the way they are, right? And so it just reminded me of that again too, and we talked about that, and how much more beautiful, it is to be one with each other, be one with nature, be one with strangers, be one with yourself in that way, to be one with yourself and the collective in that way. So anyways, that was my day yesterday. Among other experiences. That were definitely unexpected. But lovely, nonetheless lovely. No expectations, no just being in the moment, enjoying the moment, enjoying the presence of the energies around me, feeling their presence. It's been really good here. It feels good here. It feels really good here. So, just want to share that. I need to take a shower and actually post that video that I'm talking about. I need to post it and get myself organized because Hannah comes in tomorrow and I'm going to spend the day with her and then the markets and then we head back. So, until next time. My name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us. In whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth, this just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else